All right, let's talk about some parallel samples. So parallel samples uses memory. How much memory? Let's talk about that. All right, let me put it down to 1. You see right now the engine runtime data right here is at 71 megabytes. So if I put it to 2, it's going to be, there you go, 140. And then the next one should be like 210. All right, so 211. And it's going to keep adding the same scene and the engine runtime data every time I increase the samples. So if we do a render, so if I put all the way to 32, it's going to use 2.2 gigabytes of data, or it could use 70 megabytes of data. Now, the advantage, I'm moving it off screen, we'll come right back. So I'm on one parallel sample. One parallel sample is really good for caustics inside of path tracing. Alright, so it should be like around 10 seconds. Adaptive sample, all of our other settings are on. But if we increase our parallel samples, and I've also found that like 8 is kind of that sweet spot, but let's go all the way to our standard 16. Restart our render. Our render time at this point should be down to about 5 seconds. There it is. Now, this scene is too small to take an advantage of increasing the parallel samples even further. It's not going to render any faster that we've increased it. So try it again. Boop, boop. And it should be probably 5 seconds again. Okay. So it wasn't that much faster, it wasn't any faster when you increase the parallel samples. So when you're rendering, you want to make sure you manage your memory, because the moment you go out of core, so right now I have a 25 gigabyte out of core limit, and I'm using 0. Once you go out of core, it's going to slow it down. Now, how much? It depends on the scene. So try to manage your samples and keep your samples down just to the point that you're keeping everything inside the graphics card, and it will render as fast as possible. All right, that's parallel samples. There's not much more to talk about it. I've been trying AI lights, so if you know anything about AI lights, I've read the documentation. I've even tried to set up this beautiful scene. It actually runs slower or the same amount of time. So if you know, this is me turning it on and turning it off. If you can't tell the difference, I can't tell the difference. I can barely tell some of the noise even moved over. But if you know anything about AI lights, please leave a comment below. I really appreciate it. And that is parallel samples and how to keep it inside your graphics card.